Welcome into DC On Screen, the podcast bringing you news and reviews from the DC Comics multiverse on film and television since 2015. I am your host, David C. Robertson. This, my trusty cohort, Jason Goss.
Hi.
Do you mind being called a trusty cohort?
Not a bit.
Good.
It's almost redundant other than that, but yeah, no, I'm good.
I have untrusty cohorts.
I don't typically bring cohorts into my more devious plan.
Well, some of us do. All right. So big stuff happened this week. Shazam got some cool news. We got a new Flash trailer and a freaking TV spot.
That was fun
for the Super Bowl.
And now that we've mentioned that, I guess we'll move on to other news.
Yeah, no reason to talk about it.
Yeah. Did you see how the game went? Let's talk about the game for a while.
I have no idea. That is the one thing in the Super Bowl I didn't give a shit about is the game. I was like, this is football? Is that what the Super Bowl? Okay. But yeah, Shazam, Fury of the Gods got some really exciting news. Their release date in China is March 17th, same day as the US, which is really cool. That is a huge market. And you never know exactly what China's going to do.
No.
And Black Adam was banned in China because, what was it? Pierce Brosnan mentioned that he met the Dalai Lama some years ago.
Probably.
The
censorship rules there are vague. And
Suicide Squad, the first Suicide Squad, was banned.
Yeah, why not?
Probably
because some dude was wearing blue or something. I genuinely don't know how to predict what they're going to do.
No, I believe the first Suicide Squad was banned because of a generally negative outlook on life or some shit. Like, that was the official response. But there was a lot of conjecture for years that it was because of magic-based content. So the release of Shazam Fury of the Gods, of course, would seem to fly in the face of that. So
yeah, there's no Chinese mythology that is based on magic whatsoever, he says in Kermit sipping tea voice.
It was just the thing people have been saying for years. It's like, oh, it's a magic-based movie. It'll be banned in China.
I mean, it's possible. Current regime is not a huge fan of it. But I wasn't there like a couple of Marvel movies that they were just finally going to let re-release or something? I don't know.
I don't know. I did the DC show. I don't keep up with Marvel.
Yeah.
I watch the movies and the TV shows and I enjoy the hell out of them, but I don't keep up with what they do.
News has to be spectacular for me to care otherwise.
Yeah, pretty much.
I just thought it was like, I think there was a couple of movies I saw them that were going to be like released now in China that at the time it was weird they weren't going to release them anyway. It's just to have like a billion-ish people to be able to watch a movie and not have that on your possible roster is I know it hurts the actual like first and second, third, fourth, or whatever week sales.
Mm-hmm.
But this would be nice for Shazam.
Yeah.
Because they're not magic at all. Glad that snuck through the censors on that one.
Yeah.
With all the low-key magic.
Yeah. I mean, if that's, not a real thing, and they did give different reasons for Black Adam and for, Suicide Squad back in the day. So, yeah, I guess that's all I'm saying is I never know, but
I mean, I don't have any real implicit faith in any censorship board outright, but
I don't either.
They're not among my highest rated.
No. So
I can go a few countries. Hold on a second. Let me get them. No, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no. We don't have time for that today.
No.
They to coincide with the trailer, they released a new Flash synopsis. Worlds collide in the Flash when Barry uses his superpowers to travel back in time in order to change the events of the past. But when his attempt to save his family inadvertently alters the future, Barry becomes trapped in a reality in which General Zod has returned, threatening annihilation, and there are no superheroes to turn to. That is, unless Barry can coax a very different Batman out of retirement and rescue an imprisoned Kryptonian, albeit not the one he's looking for. Ultimately, to save the world that he is in and return to the future that he knows, Barry's only hope is to race for his life. But will making the ultimate sacrifice be enough to reset the universe? That's interesting. A couple of things in there. It says General Zod has returned, but based on like the imagery in the trailer, that we can now talk about. It looks like it is General Zod coming to Earth for the first time.
I mean, it does,
because
but
it looks like it looks like literal scenes from Man of Steel that have been now altered to be the berries and Batman, Michael Keaton's Batman, and
a lot of that you could just kind of do in like back, shot from the back style and computer it. But I don't think I'll particularly care as far as if they make the scenes make sense in this new format. I don't think I'll give a shit. Like I'm not going to care about aging, for instance, on Michael Shannon.
Yeah, no.
Not in the format of a Kryptonian visiting Earth. No.
But the whole will making the ultimate sacrifice be enough to reset the universe thing. Do you think Ezra's going to bite the bullet?
Nah, it's a Flash movie, or it's a Flashpoint, so some kind of Flash got to die.
I mean, there are two Flashes here.
We got a yellow and a red one. I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's a red herring.
Oh, I know. I don't think it's going to be like a yellow Flash or a reverse Flash or anything. But you got to admit that's the trend, though. A Flash has got to go when you reset the universe.
That is kind of the trend, yeah.
That may be why we have what I will, in retrospect, call the expendable Flash.
So they had this trailer out. I dug the way this trailer was edited. I really loved the shot of young Barry running out and it going from daytime to like nighttime in the present with older Flash.
Yeah.
And I really did love, I loved seeing Ben. I was a little dubious because I saw blue and gray as far as his new costume is concerned. And that felt like Whedon's Justice League because they did try to blew him up a little bit for that cut.
I know. And I hate that because I love blue and gray.
I do too.
I mean, I'm wearing it right now.
Yeah. So we knew that it was going to be I think it's funny that the trailer is not even trying to hide the fact that, the movie is going to be like, hey, it's going to be Clark. Wait, no, it's Kara. That's a reveal. They're just yeah, you know this already. You know what's going to happen. It's out there. Man, it's good to see Keaton back in the cowl though.
Honestly.
Obviously.
I was surprised. I was surprised by how much the cowl still looks like the one that doesn't really move very well.
Yeah.
Because there's a part of me that thought they might, Nolan trilogy style kind of vamp it up a little bit where it had more movement because that was a nice callback in the Nolan trilogy. It was like, man, I just wish I could turn my head more. I liked the idea. And on the other hand, part of me just thinks well, he's been wearing it a while. Probably Ben's better. We just broke it in,
Well, no, because in the TV spot, we saw the old 1989 and the Batman Returns 92.
I know. When I saw the full fleshed out version and all of them together, it made more sense. When I saw it the first time, I just kind of thought can he move? But I thought that for about a quarter second before my favorite moment happened in the entire thing. He can still kick some fucking ass.
Well, his CGI and stunt double can, yeah.
Yes, and I'm deeply excited about seeing those two at work. I will send flowers to the computer who programmed that, or who did the rendering. Whatever.
Yeah.
They will receive an orchid.
An orchid?
Yeah.
All right.
Well, it's my favorite flower, so that's what I send people.
I didn't know you had a favorite flower. Learn something new every day there, guy.
It's the only one that stays alive long enough for me to admire it before I eventually kill it.
Yeah.
And they make pretty colors.
All right. But yeah, I don't know. There's a whole lot to talk about in this trailer. We saw, just a second of slow motion as he's got his, got a bit of a moment with Kirstie Clemens' Iris.
Yeah. That'd be nice to see in full flesh.
Oh God, Jason. When Barry grabs other Barry and kind of shakes him by the collar with his hands up by his throat, did you, no pun intended, have a flashback to the footage of Ezra choking that woman in the bar?
I did not.
I'm is this a clever flash callback? What are y'all doing here? Like,
Yeah.
don't make it worse, y'all.
I did not see you mention it, and I don't think that was going to be some meta joke, but I get it. I don't think after 17 years of developing this movie that they had time to put in all the meta jokes that you might do.
Oh, that takes like a second to be like, hey, it'd be great, Ezra.
Hey, you know what a good take would be?
Let's remind everyone of that time, because you don't have enough bullshit coming at you.
Yeah, no, they're gonna do somewhat like in Justice League, where you walk in and you see his lair and he's got all the TVs.
Mm-hmm.
This time it's gonna be the same thing, but the TVs will be replaced by armed weapons and a toddler, possibly infant,
right, with a bullet in his mouth.
Yeah, just in the background, chilling, no one paying attention whatsoever, not an adult in sight.
Yeah,
except for Ezra, that's just not paying attention in any capacity, possibly even feeding the bullet at that point.
Right. And over in the corner, in a cage, is a 20-year-old trans individual saying, I was groomed.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
There will also be a karaoke scene.
A karaoke scene, of course.
that will be unpredictable. Let's call it that.
Yeah. If you're the one, performing, you have to wear a target on your forehead, and anyone watching can throw chairs at you.
Yeah.
Whatever it was.
Basically the costume from Bullseye in the Daredevil movie. But with real consequences.
Yeah. Just all of the outlandish allegations that apparently have not, worked out to a point where they could actually do anything to Ezra.
It all seemed to fall a bit flat, but I don't want to get into the minutia of how, why, or motivations here.
We've talked about it ad nauseum.
I would rather ask instead, would it not be very like crushing to be Bullseye? You can't miss. I would be crippled every day as I performed.
Wait, why would you be crippled as you performed?
If I was actually Bullseye.
If you were Bullseye.
I mean, I can't miss. That's my whole thing.
Yeah. Why are you crippling yourself?
I would be emotionally crippled. It'd be stage anxiety the entire time. Stage fright, I guess.
Oh, gotcha.
I would miss the moment someone gave me that moniker. Like, oh man, the man that doesn't miss. Oh, wait, never mind.
Right. Well, I mean, you could be worse. You could be labeled the Flash, the fastest man alive. I don't see that. I don't see him. That's a lot of performance anxiety.
That is.
Oh my God, I had this reputation.
But in all fairness,
I've saved the world.
He only gets beaten by other Flashes.
I've saved the world so many times, and I can't get a date because everyone knows I'm the fastest man alive.
No, he can't get a date because he shows up late to them all. Because he stops and saves 24 cats out of trees.
That's true.
And stops 15 bank robberies on the way to a fucking date.
The hubris of being the fastest man alive means that he thinks, I can do it. I can get done. We'll get there.
Okay, in all fairness,
mm-hmm.
If you mess with time like he does, his watch probably doesn't work. He's probably estimating a certain amount of time has passed and looking down and go, oh God damn it again.
You're late again, Barry.
I cannot even imagine that an iPhone or a Samsung or whatever is keeping track of his movements well enough to keep the phone updated. Like, he's just showing up and then the phone refreshes and he's like, oh, that's why coffee's cold. I am 45 minutes late. And, yep. Here come the texts. Are you coming? No, seriously, are you coming? This is ridiculous. I don't need this. Please lose my number. Okay, yeah, I've been through this before. It's got to be the same routine with him every time.
Yeah.
It's a tragic story, really. But he can't outrun Superman, which has got to be fun. How many times we brought up that scene about that was for Charity Clark?
Yeah, what was that? That was Tom Taylor, wasn't it?
I think so.
Wasn't it Deceased?
It wasn't Deceased.
Where that came from?
It definitely wasn't Deceased.
I thought it was.
It does feel like a Tom Taylor kind of line. I don't know who that one was, but it was a great line, a great thought.
Because I thought that was like as he races away right before the whole rib situation happens.
Not in that one. Because I remember us discussing that scene well before Deceased actually existed.
I don't know, but that's okay.
Yeah. One day we'll stop and actually look it up. It is possible.
Oh, that was from Flash Rebirth number 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was John's?
Jeff Johns and Ethan Van Shiver, whatever his name is.
I can say many things about Johns, but he's capable of a good line.
He is.
Hell, even a good story arc. And truth be told, short of the last few years, I wouldn't have a bad thing to say about him. But goddamn it.
Both of those guys now.
Yeah. I don't know about
Ethan's like a comic skater now. Everything's woke.
Oh.
Yeah, he's one of those guys.
Yeah, fuck right off on that.
Mm-hmm. So the Flash trailer, man.
Since they started.
I enjoyed it. The Flash Super Bowl TV spot had a couple other shots, like Affleck starting up his bat cycle, like driving out of the Flying Fox from Justice League. And, dude, all the Michael Keaton suits. So many Michael Keaton suits. They had some blue and gray, and I can't tell you how happy I am to see that the one that looks like the 89 suit, but it's blue and gray, because I have a Michael Keaton, it looks like Michael Keaton action figure that Kenner put out that was the blue and gray that looked exactly like what they had in there. So I'm like, it's canon. My toy is canon.
Nice.
Well,
then they had toys work though. That might have been canon to begin with. Some shit happened.
But they had like a blue and gray Batman cowl that had the freaking 66 logo on it. Did you notice that? The one with the 66 logo is the one that had the gun holsters.
Oh, that is 66. Yeah, the wings go down all the way.
Mm-hmm.
I had to pause it and find it.
Yeah.
And not too far behind it or thematically behind it is the one that kind of looks like some combination of 66 and Nightmareverse kind of Batman.
Yeah. They have like a desert gear with the goggles and like a hood.
Yeah.
I want to see all of those movies.
It's blue and gray for me. Like if I picked one that I was like, I'm in shape, I'm going to Comic-Con and I'm going to, like enjoy myself for the day and show off my costume and be Batman for a day. It'd be blue and gray. It'd be blue and gray probably. I say the in shape part because dear God, like, I hate the idea of like being Batman with a gut.
That sounds painful. Like,
literally,
I have trouble.
Like, I don't want to loosen the utility belt and lose a couple smoke grenades. It just sounds a little humiliating.
Yeah.
Or, if you've ever done this, when you put on some weight and weren't expecting to face those consequences, like go sit down in the auditorium and like pop the utility belt because you didn't realize that the gut was overhanging too far, too much stress.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, these are visions of things that I would just be like, well, that ruined it. And it'll take me 70 hours to get out of this building now. They're packed and the parking's bad.
Yeah, naturally. What are we talking about?
You were very excited about the Batman costumes.
I am. I love those Batman
But I think you did get to the
costumes.
end of that.
Yeah. Sorry, I got a little distracted. If you follow me on Twitter, you know my mom is in the hospital right now with an aneurysm in her stomach. And my sister just messaged me to let me know my youngest sister, while at the hospital, fell and landed on her side and is in a horrible amount of pain and is now in the emergency room. God.
I'm sorry, but you can't not laugh at that.
Hey, look. My sister Ashley says, I have been sitting here laughing at her like a great big sister. So I think you're safe.
In her defense, she's sleep deprived and those are very slippery, hard floors.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be like slipping if you were jogging with decent Nikes and yeah, it's odds weren't in her favor, but
that's what we need. Just another person in the hospital. Good God.
Yeah.
But yeah, she is sleep deprived. She's been back and forth at the hospital and I have too, but not as much as her because I live 100 miles away.
True. It is convenient for all the people to be in the same place if they're going to be ill.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen moments where that was a problem. So, you got that going.
Yeah. Dude, like in the trailer when Burtonverse Barry, I'll say, because it seems like Burtonverse Barry doesn't have powers and doesn't, because there are no metahumans, they said in the trailer.
Is this Yellow Barry?
Yes, Yellowberry.
Okay.
Who I feel like is a a yellow herring. That he's. I feel like they're trying to be like, he's going to be Reverse Flash. But if you look at that TV Super Bowl ad, we can see Burton versus Barry in the modified Batman suit with like the nubs, the cut off ears, running and leaping and like kicking what looks like a black speedster figure that looks or could look very much like the toy that we've been seeing pop up from the Flash, like they're gonna release, which is like a Black Flash type of situation. And I don't know if he's supposed to be like a Reverse Flash or if it's gonna be like a Speed Wraith, coming after Barry for trying to change the timeline. I am very interested in what the hell they're doing here.
Hell, it could even be like a Black Racer situation for all that's going to matter on this one. I mean, yeah. One thing that's confused me, like there's a last shot in the TV spot where I think they have a close-up of the heels. It's because it's a red and a blue lightning kind of thing. And the moment I saw the blue lightning, I just kind of hoped, for Dave's sake, I hope it is Cobalt.
That would be an interesting take on Cobalt Blue. But the blue lightning in the comics, the blue means the faster of the speedsters. But if you notice, the blue is around the Burtonverse Barry.
Yeah. And even in the shot that I'm looking at, I just kind of paused it. It's kind of intertwined. Like there's as much blue on the red side as there is red on the blue side. I don't know if that means anything. And it looks like Kryptonians behind it in the still frame, but on the far. Oh
yeah, they're definitely like that. That looks like the scene from Man of Steel where like the army goes out to like meet up with Zod, except there's no Superman there this time. But this time is Flash and Keaton Bats and Kara.
Yeah. The only thing I'm curious about, because one of them specifically even looks like Zod, and I'm sure Kryptonians. It's just the one on the far right when I accidentally freeze framed it. Just looks like that. It looks like a Bolt logo on the side, like on the chest to me. Like that one looks like it might be another Flash.
Yeah,
probably an illusion.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I think there's definitely like I said, like they've put out the toy.
42 seconds if anyone wants to like tell me what I'm actually seeing.
We've seen a toy of like this. I think they called it Dark Flash on the packaging, but it's like he almost looks like he looks like Doomsday almost. Like he's got like the ridges and stuff. So for all I know, it might be like Zod instead of winding up becoming Doomsday becomes like some sort of like Flash version of Doomsday. I don't know, man. I don't know.
Yeah.
But oh my God.
It would be fun if they pulled in some metal stuff. But like, I think it was the Red Death when it was actually like the Dark Knight's metal version of it. He was not to be trifled with.
So it totally, when there's that scene in the trailer where Barry's like, Batman, what do we do? And Batman goes, try not to die. And it looks like a great one shot.
It does something with his wrist there.
Well, what he's doing is, how you do like it's like the military signal when you like hold up your hand and then you hold it in a fist.
Oh, no. Yeah, I know the stop
signal. Yeah, until
That's where you hold it up to the guys behind you and, say freeze from what I've learned from movies.
I've also seen it be used as a engage situation. But it looks like he's holding up his hand and he closes his fist and pulls his fist down and Kara's behind him floating in the air. But I think that's not the Kryptonian battle. That is when they're breaking her out of that government silo. Because she's still in the like the potato sack clothing.
Yeah. Altogether that scene, it kind of felt like Batman jumps off the back of it, whatever elevated stage they're on, to me. And then to me, it kind of looked like he was doing something with his wrist that was actually like gadgety rather than just a signal. But yeah, I completely agree about the place. Like the setting looks like where they pull Potato Sack Supergirl out. And we're going to call her that now, right?
Can we?
When she gets into costume, she'll just be Supergirl. But for a moment in this movie, I'm with you completely.
Tater Sack Supergirl.
Tater Sack Supergirl.
Or Sacker Girl.
Super
Man,
tater.
I have to say though, like that trailer was sick as shit, dude. Like I dug it.
Yeah.
And
And they're just still mysteries, like the blood by the one cowl at the beginning, and I don't know, man. And I like the meta mystery that it starts out with Keaton asking, like, why this one?
because this is the world where my mother lived.
Yeah, which is again a very powerful retort, but I like that. That's, I guess, the tone of where that starts.
I guess, yeah.
It leaves you to wonder about a lot of things.
Like what?
Well, I mean, just directionally, like you kind of wonder, like, is Keaton so despondent about his universe that he, among all the many other people, was just like, man, all the versions of things you could save, and this is like, it makes you think he's got another universe that he found somewhere where he's like, no, that's where more good happened. That's what you should save. And
that's an interesting idea.
And then for Barry's sake, like, what is the integral, like, the primal force in his life? I lost my mom. I lost my mom too early, and I wanted more time. Like,
and Keaton's gonna like putting together the Flash trailer and the Super Bowl TV spot. Like you really get a really good sense of why Bruce is helping him, because I mean, like, we get a shot of him, like, of Bruce, old Bruce with his long gray hair, touching the picture of his mother, and that activating the entrance to the Batcave.
Yeah.
Like, man, I was like a little bit like, oh God, like that touched me. Like, I was actually like pausing and like looking for pictures of Michael Goff. Like, can we get a Michael Goff Alfred real quick? Do you have a picture of Alfred up there?
Yeah. Oh, another question, just for speculations purposes. Is this so? If a lot of this takes place, or a chunk of it takes place in the like the Keatonverse, it's the short-haired version of Ezra that's talking to Ben Affleck.
Yeah,
is that even Batman?
Yeah,
I mean,
short-haired version of Ezra, of Barry, is Snyderverse Barry,
right?
And we see Michael Keaton's Batman in the blue and gray driving out of the Flying Fox, so we know that he is Batman.
I mean, no, I mean, like, well, that's my point. Is it in this version, is Affleck whatever he's playing, and that's what I'm suggesting, is like, is he playing something else? Where in the Keatonverse, that is Bruce Wayne, but whoever it is that Ezra's talking to.
No, it's based on the dialogue in that scene. I would say that this was in like Snyderverse, quote unquote, because he's saying, I could
but
change things.
Destroy everything.
You could also destroy everything. Yeah.
Well, and the only thing that occurred to me after watching this trailer something upwards of 17 times was, now I've seen this trope a few times where you find somebody that's the analog. Like, who is it? Was it you that just watched yesterday? Somebody was just talking to me about the film yesterday, where the guy in the film finds like another version of John Lennon and has this important conversation. Was it you?
Yeah, it wasn't yesterday, but several days ago we were talking about that.
No, I mean the name of the film, I thought.
Yeah, I know that. I was joking.
So then yesterday we talked about it.
Hey,
I am just fucking around now. So who's on first?
No.
Noah's playing right field.
Yes, and until this. No.
The point was, like, is that just a version where he finds someone that looks like the person he trusts and explains the situation, and it just so happens that this guy is actually like, okay, well, crazy question, but I'm also kind of a genius, so yeah, let's work it out, buddy. What I would be surprised if they didn't use the actual like role, but I also don't understand chronologically how it must be like right before he returns, right? Like he's got to do something where he just realizes he's fucked up and does the running thing where he just runs into another universe.
Mm-hmm.
That must be the conversation before, I'm guessing. Where he's like, I can fix it, and you can fuck everything. I'm going to do it anyway, Bruce. Okay.
Yeah.
I literally can't stop you.
Yeah, I think this might just be like hey, I'm thinking about saving my mom. And then Ben going like, don't do it, man. You're going to mess it up.
Yeah.
I don't know that like it's going to be
whatever the hell you call the trope I was talking about.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be terribly convoluted.
Yeah. It has other places, for sure. I like the reuse of the Zod coming in on the staticky film thing.
I like that. I like that a version of that happens in the Burtonverse. And I assume that shot, like, it looks like in the place where they find Kara, I assume that shot where the lightning is going through Barry and then into the other Barry is how they give him powers.
Oh, that'd be cool. That would be cool.
Because he very specifically says, like, there are no metas in this universe. Or maybe what you're talking about, I think, is right. And he saves his mother. Then there's sort of a help. I created a universe where there's no metas. And then let me go over to this other. I don't know, man.
I could agree with this. I mean,
I'm very confused.
Well, I thought that was the point of kind of the story of the trailer, is that when he says there's no metas, that's when you see, Keaton.
Mm-hmm.
Like, no, he's normal-ish.
Yeah.
What's your bet, though? If you had to pick 50-50, gun to your head kind of thing. When it looks like it's Supergirl reaching out and grabbing a hand that looks like a dead hand.
It looks like a dead hand?
The dialogue itself in the trailer is, it's like when you walk in on, I think, her. It's the back of her. She's in the tater sack, maybe.
Uh-huh.
Kind of, yeah, I think it's, and he says, like, I created the universe with no, and now there's no one to defend us.
Uh-huh.
And then the next shot in the trailer is her grabbing what looks like a dead hand. It's emaciated, like when you look at it, it looks like it's surprising that it even bends when she grabs it.
Yeah, I didn't even catch that.
So the question would be, though, if that's the case, is that going to be our Henry Cavill cameo?
I don't think there's going to be a Henry Cavill cameo.
Oh, there's not going to be. I think I'm suggesting is that going to be what we get? Were that his hand? It does look hairy enough at the wrist.
I don't know, man. I wonder how much of this is going to be in the movie.
Another good question.
Since they have access to all the footage and can do whatever the hell they want to with it with the trailer, and then it's not indicative of what's actually going to be in the movie.
No, I know. Well,
I know,
but that may cause a lawsuit, apparently. But also, as much we're close to it. The trailer's real late as far as a release to when this movie's coming out.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's going to be 95% plus or something as far as like shots you've seen before.
Yeah. Well, either way, I'm excited about it. I don't know. I don't know that there's anything else that I need to say about the trailer. I'm excited about it.
I think it was good. It was nice to see even the bits we got. And she does look like a genuine badass. I like the action.
Yeah. Like, I don't...
like shoving the gun in the dude's face and yeeting him off the thing. Looked pretty good.
Yeah. I don't necessarily need, Supergirl to look exactly like she does in Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow. Like, I am digging Kaye enough that I'd be happy if they let her do that.
Yeah, it'll be fine.
And I imagine whether they do or not is probably indicative of how well the movie does. But, James Gunn is saying that this is like, he loves this movie, so.
Yeah.
I don't know.
As far
the
as
Flash.
Looks, God, what has it been, 20 years, and we're still asking for a Keanu Constantine that's not blonde?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, it looks like we're still getting that.
So far, so good.
The Flash ads were first place for the Super Bowl. They beat out all the other ads in terms of social media engagement per the data analytics and engagement metrics firm Edo, which scored more than 100 national Super Bowl ads, measuring incremental online engagement immediately after airing. The Flash's game spots took the number one spot overall with an engagement index of 2373, meaning it performed 24 times better than the median Super Bowl commercial.
In all fairness, that was me, and I apologize for misleading everyone.
Yeah,
I might have watched it until the tears dried.
Right.
I've just waited so long, and it was very good.
It was very good. It was so good, and I am down.
Like it felt like it justified waiting this long, and that was hard to say in this context.
Mm-hmm. Let's finish up some of this Flash news. Someone on Twitter asked James. He said, "I'm seriously confused. How is Viola Davis still playing Amanda Waller? Aren't you rebooting the DCEU 100%?
How is she still playing Amanda? Well,
that includes Peacemaker, the whole Suicide Squad, and the Snyderverse. Like you said, Robert Pattinson's Batman and Joaquin Phoenix's Joker is Elseworlds' story." And Gunn says, "Nope. Flash resets many things, not all things. Some characters remain the same. Some do not." And I felt the need to mention this. I saw a lot of people saying that the new Flash poster they released rips off one of the Black Panther posters. And the poster is Barry with his back turned toward the viewer, standing on a platform in Keaton's Batcave, overlooking cave walls and water with Keaton's Batwing overhead. And T'Challa's, the poster they're talking about is T'Challa standing with his back turned toward the viewer, standing on a giant stone panther head, overlooking Wakanda from a mountainside. T'Challa's in the top third of the poster. Barry's in the mid third. It's a similar foreground composition. But personally, I don't think we're in rip-off territory, aside from the fact that all of these graphics companies feed off of each other. Hell, they might be the same graphics company.
if anything, you need to have a problem with one guy doing the same thing again over and over again. Not
movie
like
posters,
the movie.
But movie posters, like everything else,
they're similar. How many of those posters have you seen where it's the kind of like spray paint version? Where people are doing the heart symbol almost with all the faces. Like, no, these things are too repetitive anyway to take any offense at that. And if that's a problem for you, that's a touch grass moment for me.
Yeah.
And also, dear God, it looked good. Fuck off.
Like everything else, movie posters do kind of trend with certain popular compositions and concepts. The color schemes of these two posters are very different. The lighting is different. I wouldn't worry about it. Besides, go look up Drew Struzan, his composition, and how many times he basically did rectangle, circle, triangle. Like, he's iconic.
Yeah.
He copied himself over and over and over, and everyone else copied him too. Like, all of these things, plus, they're trying to evoke a certain idea, a certain feeling, and most people who aren't sitting around on Twitter trying to find some reason to pick is just going to go like, that does feel cool, because they're thinking of some other poster somewhere subconsciously that linked to a movie they liked.
Yeah.
So I think this is pretty standard. I do, right before we go to break, I do want to bring up, I really need you guys to not believe everything you read on social media. The loud and shameless among the fans would have you believe that no one is interested in James Gunn's upcoming slate, but less than a day after the slate announcement, Amazon and online retailers were sold out on Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow and Booster Gold Past Imperfect. And then so was Grant Morrison's Batman Omnibus Volume 1 and Ellison Hitch's The Authority. Tom King actually found his comp copies of Woman of Tomorrow, signed them, and gave them out at Third Eye Comics in Annapolis, which is very cool of him. Mm-hmm. And Gunn does promise more prints are coming. He says, just talk to Jim Lee about everything selling out, but the fine folks at DC Comics will have more coming soon. And he did also list Tone and Touchstone comics for the DCU. These are comics that his DCU will be inspired by in tone, and he listed Batman by Grant Morrison Omnibus Volume 1, Grant Morrison and Frank Quitely's All-Star Superman, The Authority Omnibus, and Absolute Swamp Thing by Alan Moore Volume 1.
Yeah, they're doing okay.
Yeah. So with that, I think we should hit a break real quick, and we'll be right back.
Are you struggling to conceive? You have options, and at Piedmont Reproductive Endocrinology Group, we'll make sure you have the guidance and support you need. PREG is known for individualized fertility care that's unique to every patient. We take the time to provide a reassuring and empowering experience because we believe that you deserve nothing less. Let us help you on your journey to parenthood. Visit us at pregonline.com to learn more. Get the guidance and support you need at Piedmont Reproductive Endocrinology Group.
And we're back, continuing the trend of James Gunn knocking out some rumors here. On
love
February
his
3rd.
transparency so much.
Man, it's awesome, isn't it? On February 3rd, a Twitter account called DCU Leaks, and I see a lot of you guys following that account. DCU Leaks claimed Luke Eisner was in talks to play Superman and that casting had begun. James Gunn replied and said, "That's false. Casting has not begun. As far as we know, it still hasn't." But here's something interesting. That I'm excited about. I think it was like the last episode. I don't remember if it was off air or on air, but I was talking about how they should kind of basically build the new DCU upon the foundation
On the
of
bones of. I'm sorry. That was the previous
DC
thing.
New Frontier.
Yeah.
Well, on his Instagram story, Gunn shared a story that came from Paul Scheer. You know Paul Scheer from the League. And Scheer wrote, after James Gunn's big DC announcement, something tells me maybe it's a good time to revisit this with a picture of DC's New Frontier by the late great Darwin Cook.
Nice.
So I mean, he didn't bring it up in his list, but I think it's interesting that he shared that because man, it would be great if they did some New Frontier stuff. I love New Frontier.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind that a bit. Hell, even the tone would be okay.
And he also addressed the Sell the Snyderverse to Netflix campaign and says, this is Gunn again. He says, I have to say, this has got to be the wackiest hashtag ever since one, Netflix has not expressed any such interest, although we've discussed other stuff. And two, Zach has not expressed any interest and seems to be happy doing what he's doing. And yes, we too have talked. Which is, so it sounds like Gunn is talking to Netflix about doing certain DC stuff. And also he's talked to Zach, and Zach has not yet expressed any actual interest to Gunn about picking up Snyderverse stuff there. When prompted about what they discussed, Gunn answered, he contacted me to express his support about my choices. He's a great guy. Again, he seems really happy with the massive world building he's doing now. And I think that's probably accurate. Like, aside from a few likes on Vero or whatever, Zach has not come out and said, like, yeah, I want to do more right now. Like, I don't, like, contractually, I think he is, like, dick deep in doing other stuff.
Yeah, I mean, he's dick deep. Even if he wasn't, he'd have to abandon everything, which would completely ruin him. You can't just abandon that kind of contract in the middle and go back and not... Like,
I mean, he's not just working on Rebel Moon. He's working on like Army of.
Oh, I know. Yeah, he's got
dead stuff.
He's got a lot of stuff going on there. Like I wouldn't hire him if that's what his resume looked like. Oh, you had this planned and you abandoned it. Why? Okay. There's that, and then there's like for it to be on Netflix, it has to be on a certain deal, and it has to be like a reproduction thing rather than like a production thing. Like you'd have to sell copyrights over. It doesn't make any sense.
No.
Like they're not going to lend IPs over for a second, even probably.
Well, they might. They actually might. Like that's perfectly within their bounds of licensing a thing out.
I really don't think so. And I'm basing this on two things. One is Marvel tried it and didn't like it. And then after that, Zaslav basically looked at the deal for Sandman and said, oh my God, what the fuck were you doing? I don't think they're even the slightest bit interested. Like,
maybe not. I'm just saying it's legally... I mean, it's easier than I think you're saying it is, but...
No, I mean, everything's just a matter of making a deal.
Do
I just don't think there's any chance they would ever consider it.
Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. I would say that... I would have said about half of the stuff that they've done. I would have said that about them canceling Batgirl. I'm like, they've wrapped the damn thing. They're not going to cancel it. They canceled it.
I think that was the same reproduction deal that Hulu had before they passed it on to Netflix. Roughly.
Yeah.
Although you could watch them earlier on Hulu.
I don't know. So there were more stupid rumors from the scoop mill that said George Clooney is going to be returning as Batman in James Gunn's DCU. And someone asked if that was true, and Gunn said absolutely not. It's going to be a new actor playing Batman. But
Again,
someone
the transparency, it's fantastic.
Yeah.
No hedging.
Yeah.
Nope,
So,
my call. I'm telling you now. Here you go. Here's the scoop.
Looking at the current slate, though, there's a lot of magic.
Mm-hmm.
It's literally called Gods and Monsters.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's interesting, considering someone just asked James if he likes Vixen, and Gunn said yes, a lot. So
really cool
I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw Vixen in live action again soon. Popping over to Joker 2, whatever it's called.
Folie à Deux, I think.
Folie à Deux. That's it. You're right.
However, it's supposed to be pronounced in French, but
Yeah. Todd Phillips released for Valentine's Day, released a picture of Lady Gaga's, the first actual official picture of Lady Gaga as Harley Quinn. She's very close quarters with Joaquin's Joker.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know what to tell you. She just looks like Lady Gaga.
she wasn't going to be able to escape that.
Yeah, not gleaning anything. But she's got some blonde hair,
Yeah.
But just looks like Lady Gaga to me. Like, I didn't see like any kind of heart tattoos or nothing that says pudding or nothing.
It's just her with a nosebleed.
Yeah, that's it.
Presumably
That's
from
it.
being hit, because it looks like one of those in the movie.
Maybe.
Like in the movie world, you have the nosebleed for
Mm-hmm.
two reasons. One, you get hit in the mouth or nose, or two, you have tuberculosis, the consumption,
Uh-huh.
and you're about to wipe that off with your handkerchief.
So keeping in line with the idiot scoopers, a bunch of them said Constantine 2 is not moving forward. But Entertainment Weekly came out thankfully and said, nope, it's still in the works at Warner Brothers Pictures. Francis Lawrence is still directing. Reeves is still lined up to return. And so boom.
And they came
Goes
out
the
quickly,
dynamite.
and thank you, EW. I appreciated that
Yeah.
on a personal level. I'm really looking forward to that movie. I want that. I want that a lot. I don't
Me
want that one to
too.
be one that's axed.
Call it DC Elseworlds. I don't give a shit.
It's the perfect avenue for that kind of thing.
It is. And I want DC Elseworlds Batman Keaton.
Mm-hmm.
Like, let's do more.
I can do it. I can dig it.
Colin
Hell,
Farrell
spin off
talking.
Yellow Flash if you want to after this fucking Flash movie.
Sure.
Let him have his own world.
Sure. Colin Farrell on Variety's Awards Circuit podcast did confirm that his Penguin show will consist of 8 episodes. It's going to be an 8-part thing around Oz's rise to power, filling that power vacuum created when Falcone was killed.
Did he say in
So-
an accent that surprised you because you never know what the hell you're getting out of his mouth?
No, because I didn't listen to the podcast. I read the article that talked about the podcast.
That does help. And even then, like, where does your head go? What accent?
Mm-hmm. I heard it in his, well, sort of, that thing
In
he
his
does. where
penguin
he's
or
just like-
the bit of the Irish lit,
Yeah, I think it was that one. It was the lilt, probably,
Or the deep
because
one.
he was
The deep
I think
Irish
He was
one.
just talking as himself.
Yeah. I can't with him. He's a chameleon. I don't know.
He
It's
is.
hard to imagine him.
And they've added a bunch of people, new cast members for Penguin, by the way. Let's see. Michael Kelly of House of Cards and Jack Ryan. Shore Agdashlu from The Expanse and House of Sand and Fog. Deidre O'Connell from Outer Range. Renzi Feliz from Marvel's Runaways. And, of course, joining Colin Farrell as Penguin and Kristen Milioti as Sophia Falcone. I'm getting more and more interested in this show because I know a couple of these people, mainly Renzi from Runaways.
Yeah, I think I only know the two by name.
I know Michael Kelly because my wife watches Jack Ryan, but
Yeah.
and I pop in from time to time. But yeah, I'm getting interested. And by the way, the same Variety article mentioned that the Arkham Asylum series is happening, but so is Gotham PD. They're saying Gotham PD is still in development.
Okay, go for it.
Which I had thought a while back they said Gotham PD turned into Arkham Asylum, but it might be both.
I mean, they kind of did, and I don't know. Yeah, it could be both.
I
Or
feel
a misprint
like
from someone who didn't know the history. We'll see.
yeah. And I should mention that All-Star Superman, the animated movie, based on the Grant Morrison Superman, is getting a 4K release.
I did see that.
I forgot to look at what the release date actually was. It'll be $33.99 though. Oh, it looks like April 18th, 2023 for that one. And also what has just been released, which is pretty fun, The Return of Swamp Thing. That came out February 7th. 4K UHD release. They actually put a couple of clips on YouTube, and boy, does it look bad. And I mean, it's 4K. No getting around that.
Mm-hmm.
You can. Oh my God. But that's that's the one with Heather Locklear as Abigail Arcane. And I've watched those years and years ago when I was a kid. And I need to go back and watch those again because
it's been a minute.
Good Lord, those are bad and awesome.
You want to Patreon that one?
If you want to do like Swamp Thing and Return of Swamp Thing for a Patreon, we can do that.
I'm down.
That looks fun. That sounds fun.
I'm into it.
Popping over to TV proper, Grant Gustin, y'all, my friends, neighbors, countrymen.
My brother in Christ. That's the phrase.
My brothers and sisters in Christ. Those of you still screaming, why can't Grant Gustin be the Flash? In the movies, speaking with E! News, Gustin said he is ready to wrap up this chapter and move on to what is next. I'm ready for it to be over, Gustin said. And that's not for any negative reason. It's like when you're getting ready to finish high school, and granted, I don't know what college I'm going to after this. I might not get into college, but you're excited to wrap up and move on to the next phase of your life.
I love so dearly that he mentioned I might not get into college in this metaphor.
Yeah.
Because there is a real problem of like getting out of a long-term CW show and getting into some other character.
Uh-huh.
It's hard to do.
Yeah.
I mean, I have not seen Noist anywhere.
Yeah. Well, she had a big development deal with Warner Brothers. And I guess, I don't know if that's still going after Zaslav's takeover or what, but I know she signed a big development deal with Warner Brothers. So I'm sure she's developing lots of different shows and stuff for them.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if it died, but still, yeah. Like, it.
Also, I think she just had a kid, didn't she? I don't even know.
I don't know. I've lost track of her a little bit in her personal life specifically. But
well, stuff matters when you're like, I haven't seen her in a minute.
Cynical
She's raising a kid.
All of these people are good actors. Like they're
when directed well, yes.
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
as anybody.
Everybody's had a bad episode, but that's part of the problem with CW is you can have a bad episode, and sometimes it doesn't look a certain way, and then you've been there for 8 years, and there's the whole pigeonhole thing. Like, at some point, and I really hate to say this because it sounds shitty, but does Grant Gustin just go ahead and need to start a podcast? Like, to keep things rolling a little bit? Because
my God, I hope it's not a rewatch of The Flash. She'll never escape.
I have the highest hope for that man. I mean, he had a career before Flash. It's just that it's the pigeonhole thing, man. It's the pigeonhole thing. I can't express enough that this is not a knock on him.
Right.
Just a pattern.
Yeah. So
it's going to be a minute before you get somewhere else.
Eric Wallace, the showrunner for The Flash, was doing an interview and said, by the way, so one of the theories about the series finale of The Flash is that Barry will vanish and become like the lightning bolt that originally struck him back in 2013 and turned him into the Flash in the first place. That is a thing.
Not unprecedented.
It's not unprecedented. It comes directly from Secret Origins number 2, 1988, is after Crisis on Infinite Earths. We find out that he ran and then became the lightning bolt and went back in time and struck himself.
And it was very cool. I like it.
It was very cool.
A tight story.
They asked Eric Wallace about this, and he says, I can tell you that's not happening because I didn't even know about that.
Like he said, oh, that's cool as shit. No, we're not doing that though.
Like, how do you not know that? Like, in your show running The Flash. Okay, buddy. But he said, that's interesting. No, that's not the ending. It will be a happy ending. We want people to be crying with tears of joy. It'll be a lot of tears and a lot of bittersweet memories and a lot of old faces. Hopefully, fingers crossed. We have to check people's schedules. I don't want to get people too excited. There's a lot of balls to juggle, and a lot of people have been doing other things. We've moved on, and it's not as easy. Wanting something isn't enough. Making it actually be a reality sometimes is the unfortunate fact that we just can't accomplish it due to schedule. Talk to me in 6 months now, and we'll see what we got. And I titled that segment of the episode, Flash Showrunner Tempers Expectations.
I thought it'd be Flash Showrunner tries to juggle balls.
No.
It's just a very specific term. May I suggest? Because you're not the first person who's tried something like this. Borrow Mark Guggenheim's cell phone number.
Oh my God! Yes.
And call from that.
Yeah.
If you're trying to do something that epic, I still maintain that Guggenheim's performance as a producer of that event was the greatest accomplishment in television history.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to be deterred or have other suggestions, but I don't know what else I could tell you.
Yeah. Now, this pissed me off.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the previous thing pissed me off a little bit because Eric Wallace, I've talked about for a couple of years now, like, he just loves to give spoilers. He's like, don't worry, everything's going to turn out fine.
I don't want to tell you too much, but here's the 5-point plan.
Right. But here's the thing. He was talking to the Nerds of Color, and he was talking about story arcs he was unable to do with the show ending after 9 years.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, I had originally had a 2-year plan for the series for seasons 9 and 10, and it culminated with this incredible 200th episode, a spectacular, wonderful, emotional event that was meant to happen. That was before we got the news that this was going to be our last season. That was going to be a season 9. Now I found myself going, wow, I have a whole bunch of story for 40 episodes. Now I'm going to cram it into 13. So it wasn't a case of what to do, it was what not to do. So there was a mad dash of pruning, and basically the 200th episode that I had planned that has become the series finale. So that's kind of the approach. And then I just worked backwards from there, saying, all right, what are the absolute most important things to get out in season 9? What things do we owe story-wise? What character things do we have to pay off? What hanging plot was left over from season 1? Because season 9 really is a book. And I'm looking at season 1 and 9 as the bookends to this journey that the Flash and his team have been on for all these years. So I'm telling both now and like, get ready for a little nostalgia, but also a little bit of paying off things that have been into that as early as season 1. There's just so many stories. I'm so bummed. We were going to do all kinds of things. I can tell you we were going to tackle the Forever War storyline, which is something that I come up with for season 10. That was going to be a season opener, and we've been hinting at it. I wanted to do a full-on crossover with as many characters as possible. The Blackest Night storyline that we started hinting at last year with Diggle in the Box. So yeah, it kind of bums me out that we're not going to do that. I wanted to bring Despero and with his alien friends and have a full-on alien invasion. That would have featured the Justice League at the Hall of Justice coming in and helping Barry. We're not going to do that either. So these things happen. Having said that, on my bucket list of things I want to accomplish, you'd be surprised that over half of them are in. So there are spoilers I can't really talk about.
Okay.
And he also mentioned there was originally, when I had hoped that we had 20 episodes, plans to wrap up the Legends of Tomorrow cliffhanger. He said he wanted to have at least one, if not a 2-parter that wrapped it up. And there will be a little crossover. We get them back. We get them out of jail. All these good things, Booster Gold, etc., etc. But when we found out we only have 13 episodes, that was no longer possible. We barely have enough time to wrap up things with Barry and Iris's upcoming family, let alone who is Daniel Panabaker playing now. So there wasn't enough time. So unfortunately, we're not going to be able to wrap up the Legends storyline, which I know is very disappointing to the fans. It's disappointing to me. Like, dude, what is the goal here? To bum us all out so we don't watch season 9?
Oh yeah, no, I that is actually what I took away from his response, was that it was just a little bit of pining about like, well, I wanted to do this and this. I have 2 logistical questions though. Like, well, you know what? It boils down to one. How they, even if it was 20, even if it was 20 episodes, even if it was 2 seasons of 22 episodes, how the fuck were you going to do all that? What was your real plan? Give me like index cards, writer room style, about the story arc of how you were going to do all 5 of those apparently storylines, including the wrap up of Legends.
Mm-hmm.
In just those 2.
Someone posted this article on our Facebook group, and our buddy Travis Hines just posted the freaking gif of Ron Burgundy saying, "I don't believe you."
I don't. I genuinely don't. I'm sorry.
I don't. Like, you weren't going to do Forever War and Blackest Night and wrap up Legends of Tomorrow and do no, you
were
weren't.
Never going to be able to pull that off in 2 seasons. That is
absolutely not. Like, you were not going to have, like, even at the height of the show's popularity, when they had the biggest budget, you were not doing that.
There was no way. Blackest Night alone would have taken up your budget for 4 seasons at this current rate. Like, no, there's no fucking way. And on top of that, I hope his pairing pruning was good, because, like, yeah, no, I'm actually excited that he did have to prune all that down to X-Men episodes and try to get something done.
And even still, like, I'm seeing so many people like, damn it, we could have had it all.
No, you were never going to have it all. I promise you, you were never going to have all that. That was never going to happen. Please don't take that seriously. That is an absolute falsehood. Like, that is an exaggeration from, I'm sure, a good place. Please don't take that seriously.
Also, I'm just like, what is his goal here? Like, dude doesn't want to come back. Gustin wanted to end it 2 years ago.
There was no way.
Well, I guess if
and the other Flashes fucking left the show.
No, it's over.
No, I'm sorry. I hate to shit on someone's parade about this, but, like, no, what he's saying was never going to happen, and I hope he accepts the inevitability of the ending here and actually gets it done. You know what makes me afraid of, though, is, like, if that's how he feels about things and that's what he's saying, it makes you worry that he's going to leave Flash on a cliffhanger for spite. Like, I wouldn't want to do it either, but I don't know. I don't know what else that could be coming from other than a place of imagination that doesn't have any reality.
Mm-hmm. It's bollocks.
It is bollocks.
He was never going to be able to do that. Never, ever. Not in a million years.
What are you going to do? A 4-episode story arc that does Blackest Night?
Yeah.
Like, are you fucking kidding me? That's a ton.
How are you... Speaking of my brother in Christ, how are you going to do Blackest Night without a damn Green Lantern?
No. Without all of them. Without all of the Green Lanterns.
Yeah. All of the Green Lanterns. Like,
you need rights from... Thinking, like, at this point, you need rights from WB to use all of the names. All of them.
Like, they were just like, oh my God, we were going to do Blackest Night. Okay, cool. You're going to do, like, Big Dead Batman? Is that what you're going to do?
Yeah. Just one.
Black Lantern Batman. You're going to do the White Lanterns. You're going to do all that shit.
No,
and
if we were
the Flash?
if we refine his phrasing and say that he was going to mention these storylines. Okay. Now we're maybe talking. But even then, like, aren't you cock teasing us more? In the story, man. It, like, the cards are on the table.
Yeah.
We know you didn't win the hand. Like, come on. Like, in the story.
Yeah. And last piece of news, CW's Gotham Knights has wrapped filming their only season. I mean, season 1.
Very, very likely. I know there are people excited about the show. I'm not among them.
I am not either, and I just included that just to make that joke.
Yeah.
Let's pop over to feedback.
But I'm also being realistic about, like, the CW is shutting down the Gotham thing, man. Not Gotham Knights. They're shutting down DC on the CW right now. Just
it's expensive.
Make your peace with that season, because it's probably all you're going to get if we're talking about realistic expectations.
CW's pulling back, going more to, like, unscripted bullshit. And Zaslav is not looking to pay the money for the studio space on a CW show that's not making much. And I think the only reason Superman and Lois is sticking around is because a lot of people like it, and also it is co-produced by HBO Max.
Yeah, it has the subsidizing. Honest advice for CW, for anybody who's a fan of anything that's happened, and I have been not a huge fan right now, but I'm going to rewatch everything, or watch everything and catch up, and probably find a bunch of stuff that's going to make me cry and all that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. But honestly, they're wrapping this up. Make peace with it.
I was going to say, make peace with your dear and fluffy lord.
Yeah, it is what it is. They're not continuing it. Also this, please remember this. We got what we got, dude. We got what we got. It was a lot.
Yep. It was a lot.
You got flashbacks to shit you never thought you were going to get. You had a whole season where the revelation, and it was a fantastic season in The Flash, was John Wesley fucking ship. Like, that crisis thing is, like I said before, a thing that should be reckoned with. in the history of television. Like if Lucille Ball was still around to acknowledge it, she would have given props to Mark Guggenheim about that production effort. It's amazing. Like what we got is amazing, but it does have to end.
It
at
even
some point.
tied in with the movie verse. It tied into the Burton verse. It tied into the 66. Like
shows that were canceled that you never thought you'd see again. Look, it is what it is. All things have to end. We're here now.
We are.
That's
to feedback.
Yeah.
We're here at feedback.
Yeah.
David Pridgeon on Patreon. And also big thank you to David for becoming a $5 patron over there.
Thank you.
Patreon.com/DC on screen to join the ranks and hang out with David Pridgeon.
That helps.
Who says
we need new equipment. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Who says, thank you so much for answering my question. It took a very weird turn. LOL. But you guys are hilarious. That was last episode, so you guys should go check that out and see what the hell we said, because I don't remember. Also, I'm sure it did take a weird turn. It's us. He says, also, you should look up clips of Glenn Powell playing Chad Radwell on Scream Queens. I think he'd be perfect as Booster Gold. I did look up a couple of clips, and I agree. I think he'd be great.
Chad Radwell?
Yeah.
Philip, we had to look this up real quick.
Glenn Powell on Scream Queens. There's a great shower scene with him and John Stamos. It's just fantastic.
No, Glenn Powell's the guy that I was talking about was a possible Booster Gold.
Oh, really?
In the rumors. No, it wasn't rumors. He suggested it basically in some interview.
Oh, okay. Cool.
I think he looks the part for sure. Arrogant looking, strong jawed, blonde.
Yeah, and he was great in the scene that I watched. Yeah. So I'd be down for that.
Fine in Top Gun.
Effie Oppelders, one of our long-timingest listeners, that's not a word, and a patron says, holy shit, that trailer, talking about The Flash, I'm much more hyped than I expected. I am rewatching the Snyder trilogy with my girlfriend, and she got it.
With the
so I'm very
capital.
in the story again. Yes,
yeah.
With all the capitals.
Yeah.
So I'm very in the story again, and the Man of Steel callbacks blindsided me hard. But God, am I happy they're there. Me too.
That was basically my emotions for most of the rewatches of the trailer. When I wasn't getting like too academic about it in a certain way.
Yeah.
It feels arrogant because I shouldn't be using that word. But yeah.
I thought there would be like a mention of Zod. I didn't think that there was going to be like so much of Zod even in the trailer. So that's dope.
No, he's apparently a whole ass thing.
A whole ass thing.
Yeah.
Eli Hernandez, also a patron, said, I love these long ass podcast episodes. They keep me entertained at work. Buddy, Eli, I'm glad you love them. We're trying not to do them as much because, well, the numbers show that people tune out. But I'm glad you love them. So the way it works,
it definitely is one of those where like, yeah, we're going to try, but also it's going to happen.
Very succinctly, hopefully, the way that works is, the better your reach, or the better your viewer or listener retention is, the more Apple will push your podcasts. And when we do long episodes and we look at those analytics, it shows that we have a big trail off. People and it happens, even stuff that I love listening to. Like I have a 30-minute to an hour drive. I'm going to forget what even they were talking about in that episode. I'm not going to go back to it. So, people trail off, but when we do like somewhere around an hour and a half, they are much higher. It's like something like a 90-something% completion rate. So we try to do that because when that happens, we get more push out. And also it's just nice to, get done.
Yeah.
It's a little behind the curtain though for you.
It is nice to actually be able to wrap it up and get back to other problems in our lives. But like, yeah, it makes me wonder like on the longer episodes if we should do part 1, 2, 3 or whatever. But
yeah,
a lot of what we talk about is so timely as far as, we can't talk about the Flash trailer in 4 weeks.
Right. We can, but.
Oh, we will, I'm sure.
We'll keep talking about it forever.
Yeah.
But yeah, so.
Hell, in 4 months, we'll be comparing the movie to the trailer.
The long ass episodes get us algorithmically buried. So enjoy them while they happen. I think they'll be few and far between. Zach Champion writes us at dconscreen@gmail.com, which is another, we take emails, y'all.
Mm-hmm.
Zach says, Dave and Jason just listened to the new episode going over the DCU slate. As always, it was hilarious, informative, and respectfully opinionated. So hear me out on this. Bring Cavill back as Apollo.
I'm not sure I hate that at all.
No,
that'd
be fun.
I'm going over hair dye, but no, that
it's
tracks.
basically the Witcher wig.
Yeah,
it's just him in the Witcher wig.
Yeah.
That's all.
I thought Apollo was blonde. No, it may not be.
Well, Apollo is blonde. He's got a golden.
Is he blonde in the Witcher?
Like
I thought he's grayish in the Witcher.
I don't know, man. I'm kind of colorblind, so this all looks the same to me.
You are weird.
But if you put that yellow halo effect on it,
for an artist
it'll
that
look
I love
blonde.
so much, you are weirdly colorblind.
I am weirdly colorblind. I can't tell the difference in some things. But yeah, if they put like that yellow halo effect on him,
yeah,
it's gonna look yellow.
No,
fine.
he could absolutely kill as Apollo. You're not wrong here.
I'd do it. I'd be happy with that. I'd also like to see him in the MCU in whatever the hell that was. What was it? What was the Ultraman or whatever?
Ultraman.
No, not that's Earth 3.
Yeah.
Well, he's basically the Superman of Marvel. Whoever he was a bad guy. I don't remember his name now. It's gone. It's been a busy week. Cindy Brewer.
It's something like that. It's Hyperman or some bullshit. I forget.
He's Hyperman.
Hyperbole Man. Like, I don't know.
Hyperion.
Is it Hyperion?
Hyperion, yeah.
Oh, I actually got there. Cool.
I thought you said Hyperman.
I did. I was definitely doing some bullshit.
Yeah, it's Hyperion.
Cool.
Yeah, I'd love to see it. Take Gal, take Cavill, and Ben. Like they have like a whole knockoff league over there at Marvel that are evil. Let's do that. That'd be fun as shit.
Oh, it'd be fun. This would be fun. Take all the characters who aren't going to reappear in the new universe. Snyder being phased out and most of these events, and just recast them as like another universe in The Boys. Yeah, go for that. That could be fun.
See, what I think,
I would like to see Cavill
fun.
try to out-eye what's his name that plays Homelander. I forget his name right now, and that's a tragedy because he's fucking amazing.
Yeah, he's great.
But yeah,
I think it would be wonderful if we did if they did move over to Marvel as that evil league or whatever that they're called over there, something. And then Gunn has talked to everyone involved about doing a Marvel DC crossover. Would it be great if everyone teams up and then is fighting and then that evil league shows up and Barry's looking at him. He's the only one that's oh shit. He knows him. He recognizes him. He's the only one that remembers them.
This is going to badly.
Cindy Brewer sends us an email.
That would be fun if he's I know it says, I know you think you're going to watch out for that guy. Watch out for that guy.
Cindy Brewer says, hi, just a quick note to say, love the podcast. Thanks for all your hard work. I'm in my late 40s and a lifelong Batman and Superman fan. That being said, I did finally watch The Batman with Robert Pattinson over the weekend. I had held off because I did not agree with the casting of Pattinson as Batman. Was not happy with that casting at all. Overall, I did like the film better than I thought I would. Acting of Catwoman was good as was the Penguin. Directing was decent. Can one of you give some insight on the ending with the dual Riddler? I thought the young actor was really good and any theories would be appreciated. Thanks. Thank you, Cindy, for the kind words. And I don't think there were I think there was a dual Riddler. There was a guy who was dressed like the Riddler. A bunch of people were dressed as the Riddler. A bunch of the hench people that were part of his little online group. But the one at the very end they ripped the mask off of was the guy who was staring at Bruce in at the funeral,
the cathedral scene.
The cathedral scene, yeah. And now I know that there are theories online that that's Joe Chill, which
would be fun.
It would be fine and fun. But I don't think there's like really much more to the theory than like that was just like one of the dudes who was like staring down, the evil corporate hoobity hob of Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
And then wound up being one of these, weirdo Riddler incels, or whatever you want to call them.
I do like the idea that like later Chill, in the same circumstances, which often make crime, where you're just out of sorts, resources, and luck, where like later he sees the same guy, the one he didn't kill, and just stares him down too. That's a fine sentiment. I wouldn't mind exploring that.
Yeah, I'd be fine with that.
But as far as the dual Riddler, I'm curious too. I'm rewatching that film myself, and I'm kind of curious about what it leaves me with. But I think it is that. I think it is just the exposition on that face there.
Mm-hmm.
Possibly not much more to it, but I'm curious.
Yeah, I didn't feel like there was a whole lot more to it other than just, hey, here's, he's got a bunch of guys doing his bidding. And of course he had them dress up like him as decoys, I would assume. I saw the movie once. I haven't watched it again.
I've watched it in pieces, scene by scene, a couple times. But
I've seen several of the scenes a few times, but not all of it.
I've been going back to it, and there's the whole pitch where basically it's like a Riddler OnlyFans kind of thing, where he's like, we should do this and this and this.
Right.
And
Riddler's patrons.
Yeah. And this is hilariously enough, there was like a dark web version of OnlyFans at some point before there was an actual OnlyFans. And before that, by the way, there were bulletin boards like, oh, the internet's never been clean. If at any point you thought the internet was ever a good place, nah. Yeah, no. We have lily pads of good where us frogs may reside. The rest of it is a murky pond of porn and crime. Like that's what the internet has typically been used for.
See, like I pretty much since I've gotten online since the mid to late 90s, it's all just been like movie news.
Yeah.
Superhero movie news.
Hell, even the porn part, which dear God, I have no problem with. Watch what the fuck you want to watch. Is like the porn and crime part of just all of those fiberglass fucking wires being used. It's like 70-80% of it is used for that, rather than just like oh, I thought I saw this actress somewhere, and I'm just gonna look her up real quick, and oh, her IMDb says it was in somewhere else.
Dude, even today, I am still chasing that initial feeling from the day that I went on to Ain't It Cool News and saw the pictures of the cast in their X-Men uniforms for Singer's X-Men. Like, I am chasing that feeling of excitement every day. And I'm not sure there's a way to re-shine that shoe, but damn it, I'm trying.
No, no, the internet for me will always be, I'm old enough that it will always be that feeling of excitement of asking your entire family, like, you don't have to be anywhere, right? You don't have to call anybody. And then hearing that sound.
Mm-hmm.
And then even a couple years before that, and I mean, seriously, in my family, Windows 3.0, like, dear God. And and AOL sending you a disc that you could, put in and have like 10 free hours.
We had AOL and we got like 15 discs a month.
I know. 10 free hours
Jesus
of internet.
God. Like, y'all, we are paying for this.
They used to monetize the internet. As though they don't do it now.
I know.
But not by the hour. The units have changed.
Mm-hmm. So Andre Sparks says, hey guys, I just finished watching Battle of the Super Sons on HBO Max, and I gotta say, just like Green Lantern, it was great. I won't spoil anything. I'll just say check it out. Can't wait for Legion of Superheroes next. If the new DCU can be anything like the animated universe, I think it would work out great. Keep up the good work. God, that's this thing that everybody's been saying for years. If only they could be like the animated movies, that'd be amazing.
Yeah, could agree more there.
So, okay.
That'd be yeah.
That's like we're so behind on all the animated movies.
Oh yeah,
Like, we
we're
saw
way
the
behind, but I get the
Man
trend.
of Tomorrow or whatever.
Yeah, like I'm not short of the proof of concept on that one. Go for it.
Yeah, yeah. Man, talking about something we need to do for Patreon.
The animated?
Yeah, all the animated shit.
I don't know.
What's wrong with us?
I don't know. Time.
Yeah, that is the thing. That is the thing that's wrong with us,
Literally
isn't it?
If
Damn it.
we'd be done with it already if, you know, we didn't have to have day jobs.
Yeah. Mr. Bones over on YouTube. Yeah, we're on YouTube, by the way. I always forget to mention that, but we are there. It says, keep up the great work, guys. You guys are awesome.
Thanks.
And hilarious.
Also thanks.
Oh, man, does my heart good to hear that shit, man. Thank you, Mr. Bones. And thanks to everyone who wrote in. If you'd like to be heard, we are on Twitter and Instagram at DC On Screen. We're on Facebook at facebook.com/DC On Screen. You can join the Facebook group. If you can also email us dconscreen@gmail.com. You can become a patron at patreon.com/DC On Screen. I'm looking forward to the days ahead, man. Like, we have a lot of DC content to talk about this year, and I can't wait to get to it.
Yeah. There's a lot coming out.
Unfortunately, unless you got something, I think this episode has come to an end. However,
Yeah, let's do it.
do you good to go?
Yeah.
You good to finish? You F off into that dark night?
Yeah. Mr. Bones, you give Waller the proper amount of shit to make her listen to our show too.
Sure. Yeah. So
Certain
we're gonna.
responsibilities at a level of command over, you know.
No, I don't. I don't know what you're talking
Skullduggery
about anymore.
societies.
I'm done. I don't know what you're talking about anymore. Skullduggery. What?
Who knows anymore? We just can't talk about it.
What's a skulldugger?
Look, if you don't know, I just have to kill you.
Fair enough. Wait, I know what a skull fucker is.
It's too late. I've already killed you. I made a decision in the last couple of minutes.
Oh, you win some, you lose some.
Yeah, give it time.
All right, like
There
I
should be
said,
time
we're
for your
gonna
speech stuff.
we're gonna let you guys get back to listening to the dark thoughts that creep in when you have a moment of silence. Until next time,
19, 18.
try to find some of those comics Gunn mentioned, and damn it, keep some DC on your screen.
Bye.
Are you struggling to conceive? You have options, and at Piedmont Reproductive Endocrinology Group, we'll make sure you have the guidance and support you need. PREG is known for individualized fertility care that's unique to every patient. We take the time to provide a reassuring and empowering experience because we believe that you deserve nothing less. Let us help you on your journey to parenthood. Visit us at pregonline.com to learn more. Get the guidance and support you need at Piedmont Reproductive Endocrinology Group.
Our intro music is by Jason Goss and Michael Shackelford. Michael's band, Galactic Engineers of Magnetic Sounds, or GEMS, can be found on SoundCloud and Bandcamp. Visit DCOnScreen.com to find our Patreon, merch, contact information, and every episode of the show for free, including crossovers we've done with other podcasts. DC On Screen is a maladjusted production. For more from me and Jason, including sketch comedy, vlogs, parodies, and our improvised web series Hey Guy, visit maladjusted.tv.